so-called flying saucers.
There's a whole fleet of them. Look on the ASA. It's rotating.
Welcome to Kill the Stigma. Look, just real quick, guys. And someone's got to go deeper on this. Someone with more information, because this is fucking insane, dude. I don't know how else to say it. People are dying with the DOE clearances, touching the craft. What? Right? Like, and mysteriously they die, right? What is going on? And now it's almost like they're just teasing the community. Look at this. Melissa Casillas, okay? This is the woman from Los Alamos. They found her remains. Oh, by the way, they looked there before. Total missing 411 vibes. You look, and suddenly it just shows up. And guess what? Scavengers won't touch that thing. Animals won't touch it. Well, why is this important? What the hell does this matter? Well, this happens with UFO cases like cattle mutilation. You see it in Skinwalker Ranch.
When we're talking about cattle mutilations to anyone that's out there, there's obviously some anomalous things that happen or that happened to the animal that cause, sort of concern, which is the unexplained boring of, its genitals or the lack of blood or the lack of struggle even. But then, like you said, just the sort of lack of rigor mortis or the way that they decompose and the way that animals are sort of uninterested in a carcass, which is obviously very interesting to animals normally.
Yeah.
What out of all of those symptoms, what have you observed there? Have you seen all of these things firsthand?
Yes.
Investigators not publicly announcing a lot of information about the find, but an investigator hired by the family believes foul play involved in Melissa Casillas' death. And something to really pay attention to here is that while her skeletonized remains are found outside in the woods, propped up against a tree, but there doesn't appear to be any type of animal scavenging of her remains. This is not something that we hear a lot of. I'm sure it's not as uncommon as we think, but still, skeletonized remains, Melissa Casillas' body found in the Carson National Forest in New Mexico.
Talking about how animals are. Chris Ramsey asked him, animals uninterested. And this FBI guy that's investigating the case notices that detail. He puts it out there. Yes, that is important. That is strange. And it does connect to this topic. It's not my fault. Just facts are the facts, guys. Facts are the facts. Melissa's case is freaking weird, man. Just like Monica Raz and Jeremy McCaslin and many others. What the fuck is going on? So yeah, that is very strange, and I'm not really sure what to make of it either, guys. I don't know why these coincidences that match up with UFO cases keep coming up. Is it like you want to get all conspiratorial? And it's almost like they're teasing us, right? Or is there something weird about this, man? Something three-body problem vibes? I don't know. It's interesting though, for sure. All right, let's go to the next case. This one is, I haven't heard much on, I haven't heard anybody talk about this, I don't think. And here's, a lot of you guys love this guy, a lot of you guys don't. I don't care. It's not even about him. He didn't even tell the name to this reporter. She figured it out by himself, and this is connected to the Department of Energy. Let's go. Talking about Kevin Childress, whistleblower, connected to the Department of Energy. Was talking to homeboy, which you guys love, Elizondo, or don't. Talking about going to Congress, speaking in Congress. Next thing you know, adios, gone, dead.
Lou Elizondo joining us, former U.S. Army counterintelligence special agent,
former director, Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program. You have refused in the past to give me the name Kevin Childress, but I found it elsewhere. Kevin Childress, and correct me if I am wrong, was set to have a meeting describing very, very sensitive scientific information. He was going to Congress and talking about what was in the UAP files. And then suddenly he's found dead on a sofa. And there was never an autopsy. What can you tell me about Kevin Childress other than he was brilliant? That much I already know.
Sure. Well, Nancy, thank you very much for having me. It's certainly an honor and privilege. You're absolutely correct. Kevin Childress was a senior special agent with the Department of Energy. And as you continue to look at some of these other cases, there are definitely ties. When you're talking about a national laboratory, there are always ties with the Department of Energy. And so in this particular case, Special Agent Kevin Childress was the special agent in charge. He was there at headquarters at the Department of Energy. And he had reached out to me. This is right after I left the Pentagon. And he was very concerned. He said, look, the Department of Energy has a significant role in the UAP business. And I'm pretty upset by what I have access to. And now that I've raised it through my chain of command, I feel that the Department of Energy is trying to keep me quiet. So I'm worried about that. But there's a lot of information. This is what he's saying that I have access to, and I would love a chance to talk to somebody in Congress about it. So I was in the process of arranging a meeting between Special Agent Kevin Childress and some members of Congress back in the 2020-2021 timeframe. And to spare the family, they want to be cognizant of their privacy. Let's just say his spouse is extremely well trained in the medical field. And I think it was a surprise to everybody. She had left for work that morning. He seemed fine. She came home that evening and he was dead on the sofa. And clearly I had some surprise as well when I heard this news. But if you look at his obituary, which I find very interesting, specifically one of the last paragraphs, it talks about his interest in the UAP topic. And that's actually what was the basis for our conversation we were going to have in Congress. I was going to bring him there as a whistleblower and allow him to speak his piece.
Can we identify that, please?
All right. So, Nancy Grace talks about what was Jeremy, by the way. I'm going to cover Jeremy Corbell. I'll have one with you, bro. Cheers. To all the missing scientists that have sacrificed and lost their lives for some unknown reasons possibly we might not know of. Salud, cheers. Thank you. And shit, I'm sorry, but cheers. All right, so let's get back to the whistleblowers that have passed away. Let's get back to Matthew Sullivan. Let's talk about Matthew Sullivan. What does he say about Matthew Sullivan? Who's this guy? We keep hearing about it. Seems very interesting. Well, let's see what they got to say.
Do you think we get another Bob Lazar coming out near term? Because I think that's what a lot of people want. I don't think they want the person who saw the thing on the document or that, who knew the other guy and that person worked directly, or, I think they want another Lazar.
We almost got it. And he's dead.
Tell me more.
You know about this, right?
Sullivan.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little example.
Yeah.
Fact. He was to testify behind closed doors.
Matthew Sullivan, for everybody
Matthew Sullivan.
Watching.
Right. Matthew Sullivan was one of the 40 people, that number's loose. There's probably more, that David Grush brought to the attention of the ICIG. Matthew Sullivan was, fact, 2 weeks before he died, I think, going to testify. We call it behind closed doors, because you know how many people I've taken in to speak in DC that you will never see publicly. This is to inform them, taking them in to testify. You're under oath. You're in a skiff. I have facilitated.
Over 10?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So the question is this. Matthew Sullivan. Now, I didn't know him personally, but I knew he was going to testify. And that is testifying. And that's why people and the FBI are investigating if his death was suspicious, because it ain't adding up, all the math. Now, he could have just been PTSD and broken down and scared, but that's not the word on the wash. So I don't have any direct knowledge that I can talk about of that case. But I do know the FBI is looking into it, and there's a congressional letter. And I do mention, if you read between the lines, I didn't know that this could be public. I didn't know this was going to be public. He's one of the two people that I'm talking about when I say, mortal crimes. We don't know. It's a suspicious death. And he was going to testify behind closed doors. He had direct hands-on with the craft. That would be like Lazar, wouldn't it? So, man, they wanted to stop Lazar. They don't want people that would convince everybody out, because now
Were you in?
This is gold information. Because if he touched the craft and he wanted to talk, it means we're talking national security, legit national security concerns. I mean, we're talking about technology. We're talking about reverse engineering and capabilities, right? So like if we've been able to reverse engineer a UFO, the capabilities of what we can do, anti-gravity, fucking time travel, I don't know, dude, you name it. Who knows what the implications of that are, right? This dude could talk about that. He could start talking about what we can do. So it's not just anymore about like, are we alone? It's about like our capabilities, which is important information on why Matthew Sullivan, someone decided to tie that loose end, because it was risky. They couldn't, from whoever's point of view, they couldn't just trust that they were just going to talk about aliens. They could have, maybe this guy's going to go talk about what we can do with our technology that we've been working on. Manhattan Project 2.01. Okay, so that's very important information. And yeah, guys, I don't know what else to say. Look, all I know is that we have General McCaslin, we have Monica Rez, who just vanished. Now we have Melissa, this new information on her freaking remains, and scavengers won't touch it. There's just so many freaking connections, man. And then we have Matthew Sullivan, who touched the craft, and for sure they're like, adios. Okay, so like, and then we have this other gentleman that I haven't heard no one talk about. No one connected to the Department of Energy that Luis Andos's talking about here. And of course, Kevin Childress, Department of Energy. That's all I got today. Remember, if you're a legit whistleblower, you have concerns about your safety, public is the way to go. If you respect national security, you know what to say, not to say. It's the only thing that will defend you. I don't know what else to say. Good luck. And to everybody out there watching this, much love and good vibes your way. Thank you. Like and subscribe.